Hello, my friends. I'm going to speak very quickly here about a topic I've been thinking about doing more on, and this is about anxiety and mental health in the visual effects and animation industry. I'm not the only person to be talking about this right now, and so I covered this a little bit when I interviewed Dr. Jody Escheray, which I'll put a link to right here. But this is really about more of my experience. That was me playing music. I like to play music, and the number one reason I do it is it makes me relax. It makes me de-stress. Now that I work from home, I'll often just play music for a minute or two in between meetings just to bring myself down into a centered, relaxed place. But I haven't always been so relaxed, and there's a lot of people who think I'm not relaxed, so take this all with a grain of salt. In the last years that I was working for studios, I would often come back from lunch or come in the morning, and all the wranglers would be freaking out that some massive disaster had happened. It could be that the farm was down, or there was some sort of downtime within the farm, or the storage was down, or maybe a whole bunch of licenses expired. Whatever the problem was, generally production and my wranglers were freaking out. And over time, they would remark how in these moments they're amazed that I'm never freaking out, that I always come in and go, okay, let's just kind of break down and solve the problems and figure out what we can do here. And my team was rather shocked at that. And again, it wasn't always like that. It's something I've had to build the ability to withstand over the years. So here's a little experience I had where it didn't go so well. When I started ILM, I grew up there basically my first 8 years of my career and got to know hundreds and hundreds of people who are still my friends today. When I left there, I went to a smaller company called The Orphanage, and I went there to work alongside some of my best friends. And my very first day on the job, as I walked around and toured the building, I was getting hugs from all sorts of people that I knew from my former studio at ILM. Cut forward a few years, and I was joining Image Movers Digital, the Disney company that was also in Northern California. And again, as I walked the floor there, all I was meeting was a lot of old friends and people I'd known for years, getting hugs all over the place. And really, I'll tell you, it makes your first day of work a lot better if a whole lot of people are already there that you know, giving you hugs as you walk around the facility. But as most people know, Disney eventually closed down Image Movers Digital, and I had the honor of being transferred by Disney down to Southern California to go work for DisneyToons down in the Glendale, Burbank area. So I came into DisneyToons, and I didn't know anyone there. My boss, who was someone I knew, was also working at Image Movers Digital, and he was recruited to come down there, so he had hired me in advance, and they sent me down there in advance, but he wasn't even down there yet. So I walked into this studio of strangers, took up maybe a few hours of my orientation in the morning, and then I just got sat down at a desk, and I got handed a piece of paper that was your login instructions, and that was it. And there I am, just sitting in this cubicle wondering, so what am I going to do now? So as I'm logging in and just getting myself oriented, all of a sudden I got this wave of sickness and felt really nauseous. So I normally don't get sick like that, and I was a little concerned and ended up going off to the bathroom, and yep, I threw up and ended up going back to my desk thinking, ooh, I'm a little embarrassed here, but I got to mail HR and my new temporary boss here and say I'm heading back home on my first day. And I felt really, really bad about it, but hey, sick is sick. And to be honest, over the years, I've seen many people on their first day just end up inadvertently sick or hurt themselves or have to leave. It's not that big of a deal. So I'm like, I'm just going to go home and hopefully feel better tomorrow. So I got in my vehicle and I lived really close, got home. And as soon as I got in the living room and I sat down on the couch and started petting my dogs, amazingly, I felt better. All the stomach problems went away. And I quickly told myself, aha, this is anxiety. This is what's going on here. There was nothing wrong with me except I was really, really nervous. And I looked back and realized this was the first time I was going into a studio where I didn't know anybody. And I had not developed that coping skill. And it knocked me out the first day. Now, because I'd come to that realization and have some history of helping friends and family with anxiety, I was able to sort of wrap my head around it. And that next morning I went in and I was fine. In fact, I didn't have any more problems for the rest of my time there. It was a one-time occurrence, but I'll tell you, after helping many people with anxiety, to finally experience such a strong bout myself really was an awakening as to how quick and heavy anxiety can hit you. And I think a lot of people in the industry feel this. I've definitely seen a lot of my team members have anxiety, and it wasn't necessarily my place to address it directly. It's a real personal thing, whether someone wants to talk about their anxiety or other mental health issues. But the more we talk about it, the better it gets. And certainly the more I can discover those weaknesses, the better I can cope with them. It's certainly not the only instance I've had of freaking out in the workplace a little bit. But every time I have, I've learned from it, and it hasn't never happened again the same way. So if you feel that you have a story to tell, or you have something to say about this, feel free to, of course, comment below, reach out to me. Generally I'm pretty easy to find on LinkedIn and all the rest of the social media sites. So I know when I hear other people talk about their anxiety issues, it helps me cope with my own. And I was hoping to maybe do a series of people talking about their anxiety issues in the VFX and animation environment. It's a bit of a unique space to have some of that pressure, and we'll see if I can get some other folks to talk about it. If you feel like you have a good story to tell about this, or would like to share your story, reach out to me. I'd love to, maybe have a conversation just off the record, privately, to hear your story. Or if you'd like to maybe speak here, I'm entertaining the idea. So reach out to me if you think you have a story to tell. I'm interested in helping people and sharing the knowledge, and I really find the more people talk about it, the more it breaks the taboo and of mental health issues, and it really makes it easier for everyone to talk about it, because there is no taboo of mental health issues. There's just the one we create in our minds, but it's really okay to talk about the issues you're having, and comment below about it. I bet you a lot of folks out there have experienced the same thing. So I hope to hear from you. Let's see what this turns into, and if you're really freaking out, take a moment and try to take a breath away from the situation. Come on back and deal with it. There's very little you can't overcome. If anxiety is getting the best of you, reach out to your friends and family. Reach out to, help groups out there, therapists. The reality is there's very little out there you can't push through, but sometimes you do need a little help just getting your bearing, and then it's all you. So good luck out there. Hope to hear from you. Thanks, everyone.